must be calling.
And the recording.
See, this is the first time I'm disappointed Olivia won't be here, because I had a slide so good for her. Yeah, she's gotta be here for
Well,
it.
you still gotta share it.
We will, well, she's gotta be here for it though, otherwise, yeah. So welcome everybody, thank you for being here, thanks for investing in youth, thank you for being our partners. For those of you online watching it today with us, and for those of you who will be watching it later on YouTube, my name is Jamie Ogden, I'm the Chief Value Officer here. And I'm just up here representing all of our leadership, and this is our favorite day because this is the day we get to pour into you guys physically and see everybody and get the spirit together and just feel great about what we do every day in impacting you, impacting others. What do we start with? The vision of the company of Keller Williams hasn't changed. It's the company of choice for agents and their customers. And our values here are leadership who are here. Ready?
Culture, integrity, impact, growth. Keller Williams, we take the oath.
So we do that every morning at Huddle. Aren't you jealous? But here, we take this very seriously. We take this very seriously, as you know. When I came on board, this is what I was trying, what is here is what I was trying to build where I was at. So I said, I'm just gonna join the champions and help grow your impact on the future. And speaking of the future, our goal is to get $1 million in profit share for the year of 2030, and that is growth. And that being said, let's move on to our play of the week. Will Bishop? Will said this morning, I got so many things I gotta do, helping family, I gotta go, but he's like, are you gonna show my slide?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like, okay, I'll be there. It's the total opposite, which makes it funny. But Will got recognized by one of the other agents here, and I got a text of a picture of him working here at like 7 p.m. And they were just so impressed with his work ethic, how much he helps people, but also that he's at everything to learn. And then he did what was taught back in the day, was get in the way. He did an open house, got in the way of someone who liked it. Is that accurate? And got an offer accepted, and then you're listing their other property. So just go out and get in the way. Will, way to get in the way.
Way to go.
Where there's a will, there's a get in the way. All right, well, let's congrats some campers. This is award day, by the way, if you don't remember. CC, are you up there? Yeah, way to go. Zach and Carly, Aubrey and James, and Austin, Mike Special Ops, Dawn Peterson, not all of those, not Bartles and James, which is closer for you, right? Steer and Root. Tricia also loves this attention, however, she's at the event. There's an event today that also leadership is at. It's the career visioning, and it's a great day for Patrick Woods. So Tricia she loves this kind of recognition too. So we'll remind her. And Kristen Rizak. Let's jump into our listings sold volume. Also said, hey, are you going to show this today? I'm going to sit right there. Steve, for all of you. I'll go right through. Amanda, Bryce, Pam, Anna, Fresh Mom Anna, and Mikey. I mean, think about that. Anna did that while birthing. I mean, to me, that's one thing you just do. I mean, you can't do anything else other than that. But listings sold volume, Corn, CMS, and Kelly Everton Oaks. Listings sold volumes, Group, HHG, Custodio, Steer and Root, Riley, Red Wing, Leisure, Janie's birthday today, Janie's home team, Team Counters, Cedar Haven, and Michelle Hoagland Group. All that stuff, you got that. Top individual agent, closed volume. Now, Laura decided I'm going to go out on top. This is the last month she's recognized as a solo agent as she's with Custodio Home Group. So let's give it up for Laura, Amanda, Jennifer, Steve, Cindy, Chris, Megan, Amber, Ann, and Tony. Closed volume, CMS, Korn, Skilly, and Arvidsson. All right. And the closed volume, Hedge, Custodio, Bartles and James, Cedar Haven, Janie, Red Wing, Riley, North Star Commercial, Leisure Team, and Hoagie's Heroes. And profit share members, again, we were talking about profit share going back to the point of $1 million given back in profit share by 2030. And this is of January, as the February numbers haven't come fully out to us yet, but Jason Herdkamp, Ryan, Scotty, David, Sarah, Brooke, Bryce, Aubrey, Scott, and Jeff. Way to go! That's anyway money. It comes into your account anyway. Those are nice. And let's give it up for Maria, Legacy Builder. She may or may not be online, God Family Business. She's taking care of her baby girl, and I'm grateful that she has that opportunity and that this business offers that flexibility. Legacy Builder, what is that? Again, it goes back to the profit share. Who are we helping? I mean, when I hear from all of you and we talk about different things, so what's helping you, and sometimes we take what we have here for granted. And Maria, once she joined on, she started enjoying all the different fruits that you all have bore for years, and brought us Paris and Alyssa. Thank you, Alyssa, and a couple other people. And she's also invited a few people to the luxury homes tour that's coming up. So she's promoting the culture. She's out there trying to make an impact on the legacy of others. So give it up again for Maria's legacy. Okay. Speaking of legacy builders, let's hear about your forms and tidbits.
Okay, perfect. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
You have been working hard. I see that in your numbers. Did you guys see the post that just last Friday, we had something like 75 showings that you were doing and on our listings, and likewise, we're putting about 30 houses a week into pending. I am proud of you. I
12
love
listings yesterday.
working with you.
Wow,
I
that's
love
fantastic.
working with you.
Wow.
But with that comes chaos and showing and disorder and lots going on. So I have been asked to update you on a couple of things. And the first comes from compliance. The other two are real live in action things that have happened recently. As we were updating our forms last August, we covered a lot related to the NAR settlement, and so this may have been overlooked by you, and I just want to make sure and go ahead and bring to your attention that if something happens post-closing and you need to reflect back on your arbitration form and you need to ask yourself, is this a case for arbitration or not, just remember it is now for claims over $20,000. It used to be for claims over $15,000. You're thorough, you've read the form, so you know this, but I just wanted to bring up the Minnesota Judicial Branch's website that affirms that says conciliation court, called small claims court, is for claims of $20,000 or less. So if someone's water heater goes out, if someone's dishwasher broke and they're upset then with the seller and they want to come to a resolution on how they're going to handle that, they need to handle it themselves through small claims court, or they can file a claim for arbitration, but only after they've gotten estimates and they've learned it's $20,000 or above. So I wanted to remind you from a compliance standpoint that we do expect you to draw a line through and write declined on the arbitration form, whether your client declines it, you decline it, or any of the other parties involved in the transaction decline it. We do that from a compliance standpoint because, as you guys know, when you send that out for signing and you give them the optional signing box, it then comes back to you blank. So you're working really, really quickly this spring, everyone signed the document, it's complete, you forward it on to the title and everyone else, but then when it comes to the compliance review, we're asking you to go back and draw that line through, write declined, and send it on to the parties again. So just remember to do that for yourself before you send it out to everyone else. And it will get returned to agent in your under contract file. Colin.
So the forms and the signings are all set up very nicely. Is there any way we can work with the entities in control of those two things so that when they let you know it was declined?
I had submitted that request already. I'll continue to do so, but I agree with you. It's an unfortunate and unnecessary step. So that's outlined up here on the top. Go ahead, Steve.
Also a sidebar, that's in the first 24 months after closing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, good reminder. So I just want to also touch on this as long as we're talking about this from a compliance housekeeping standpoint. Last year we did put we didn't call it a policy, but it is our position. ALC worked hard on it, and our position is that you as independent contractors can agree or decline arbitration for yourself. It's completely up to you. But we want you to remember is that it is something that all parties have to agree to. So if you personally decline arbitration, that means the option is eliminated completely for your client. So keep that in mind as you are deciding. It is up to you, but you might then be considered depriving them of an option. Your fiduciary obligations as an agent, you have separate rights to your fiduciary obligations, so you don't have to do what your client does, but just keep that in mind. Any questions about arbitration? Okay, two things that we learned literally in the last week. Did someone speak up?
I did. I'm online.
Oh, hi.
Hi, it's Amber.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what Colin said about the option. So I'd say a year or two ago, I was really concerned about that as well. And so I had Jason Arvidsson, I'm gonna volunteer him here, but he put a drop down in my Athenasign. And so I do a drop down and I have them initial it, date it, and they get the option. It says right there, I decline or I accept. And then it types it in there and they initial it and they date it.
That's a good efficiency. Maybe
So
I'll ask
I like that.
you to share that out. Thank you for speaking up. That sounds like a really good way
Yeah,
to run.
thanks, Amber.
Okay, this literally happened in the last week, so I just want to encourage all of you who are running a million miles an hour, doing a million showings in your paperwork at 11:30 p.m. I want to remind you, we always encourage trust funds for earnest money. It is far more secure than exchanging a check, receiving a money order, or something like that. However, you initiate the trust funds or the other party initiates the trust funds, and it's kind of one of those set it and forget it type of meals, right? Like, oh good, this is taken care of by trust funds. Well, there is a very experienced agent in this room who found their way all the way to closing and no earnest money was actually exchanged. They saw it on the settlement statement, but it wasn't actually in our trust account, and that felt embarrassing, right? That was a while ago. But also embarrassing, we have a situation now where we have a seller who is under contract with a buyer. The buyer wishes to cancel, but they cannot come to terms on the aspects of the cancellation. Well, unfortunately, no earnest money was ever sent by the buyer, and we're about 3 weeks into the transaction. So who does the seller blame? Not the buyer, they blame the agent, right? Though those kinds of things are completely out of our control, we do want to be diligent, we do want to be thorough, we want to be watching to make sure that the earnest money has not just been submitted, but it's actually settled. And that's what we would like you guys to upload into Command when we audit your files. It's not a requirement, it's just a strong encouragement. So I just want to remind you what the terms it states in the contract are for earnest money. It says this earnest money shall be delivered to listing broker no later than 2 business days after final acceptance. So it really has to be at the listing brokerage 2 days after. Then the brokerage has 3 days to deposit the earnest money into our account after final acceptance date. So you need to be watching for that, you need to be looking for that. You'll get an email when you use trust funds that says it's settled. Please upload that into Command as compared to has the earnest money just been submitted. Last but not least, sorry this is a little longer than usual, you know, our sales prices continue to go up, but our sales volume is staying kind of here, right? So what can that cause a problem for in this flurry of multiple offers right now? Anyone take a guess?
Appraisals.
Appraisals. This can cause a real big problem for appraisals, and we have had this real big problem recently. I want to draw your attention to the portion of the, in the purchase agreement, there is a financing contingency, but I want you to keep in mind that only FHA and VA have an automatic escape clause as it's written in the standard purchase agreement. So by technicality, if an appraisal is low and your client is using conventional financing, the seller, whether that's your client or the buyer, can stand firm on the sales price. They do not automatically have to reduce the price. They do not automatically need to release the earnest money and cancel the purchase agreement. The seller can stand firm. So most people would say, but I can't come up with that. I don't have that much money. I can't show up at closing. Well, the mortgage company is probably going to say different. They're probably going to suggest, well, hey, can you get a gift from someone you know? Well, hey, let's just change the ratios here. You can put a little less down, you can borrow more. Looks like you've got $100,000 in your 401k. Can we take some money out of that? If all of those options are exercised and exhausted, well, then the lender will issue a letter of decline, and then you can trigger your mortgage contingency cancellation. But ethically, not a lot of lenders are going to do that for you. So remember, we do have that common clause document, and it is on our dashboard under resources. We have it buried in here down in the middle column under common clauses. And in the common clause addendum, we have this one here that was generated by a wide group of realtors at Keller Williams, different teams, different individuals, Greg and myself. And we have this clause right in here that you can place on your FHA purchase agreements if you're representing a buyer, or you could keep in mind if you're representing a seller. And the language is right there that states, if we cannot come to an agreement on price, if there's an appraisal problem, the buyer has the right to cancel their purchase agreement and earnest money shall be released. So if you're worried about that and you have a conventional buyer, I encourage you to use that addendum.
You just said FHA, I think you might have made a mistake. So with
I
that,
did.
yeah, FHA, we don't.
Rolled off my tongue. If it's a conventional buyer.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, sorry about that rolling off my tongue. Oh, okay, well, I'm not sure what this means. But I love what you guys are doing. You are working really hard. Keep up the great work, and I hope those little tidbits will help you. Scotty, do you have anything to add on that one?
No.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I covered it all.
How about on this one?
Our conversations stay private.
Hey, that was wonderful. Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
No, since Olivia's not here, we can't put something funny to rip on her. I just thought, yes, it's lovely having, she's so fun to speak with and enjoy. But let's take a few extra minutes to do things correctly, so you don't wind up in front of the judge. Although you will get extra time with Melissa if you'd like that. You can do that other ways. We highly suggest that. And speaking of court, let's have Misha Courtney come on up.
Okay, thank you. I'm up here to talk about Career Zoom that is happening next Tuesday from 12:30 to 1. If there's somebody that you think would be interested in real estate, or you know that is interested in real estate, please let them know we are having that. You can get in touch with me and I can connect them with the Google form, so they'll have the password and everything. Jamie, our lovely Chief Value Officer, will be hosting the Zoom this next week, because I'll be on vacation. So thank you, Jamie, for taking care of that for me.
Don't thank me yet.
Somebody please get on and let me know how it goes. Okay. I'm also up here to talk about Ignite. We are bringing this back, and I am partnering with my good friend Jason, and he is going to tell you more about it because he's familiar with how we did it in the past and how this time is going to be different than before.
So we'll be starting on April 7th. It will run every single day, Monday through Friday. Instead of the past, we'll cut it down to 10 days. It's going to run for the entire rest of the month. And we're going to be running this every single month, going forward from 10 to noon.
2 hours.
And initially, the first time through, Misha and I will be doing all the presentations. But in the future, we'll be looking to add agents to help out with particular classes. The program is structured such that the first hour is classroom instruction, the second hour is practical application calls, things like that. So everyone is invited. It, of course, is primarily driven to new agents, and those will be the main focus for us to help
Or
them.
people that need to
Or
light a
people-
fire in their family.
People who need to be ignited. But there will be no physical ignition. There will only be emotional and mental ignition.
We'll see.
So we've got that going for us, but we're really excited to be bringing this back and building that process and curriculum out for everybody. But we're really excited about the stuff. We've done it before. We're just expanding it out for an entire, much more process, give people more involved. Any questions about that? But it will run Monday through Friday. Anyone can attend,
Except for Wednesdays, right?
except for Wednesdays, correct?
Will it be on Zoom?
We're not sure, certainly not the first week. But we would like
We'll
to be able to bring it
discuss
to Zoom. We would like to bring it to Zoom. We want to get it kind of working bright and then
We don't need everyone to see how it goes the first.
how bad we are.
How it goes.
Yes, we need to be ignited as well, so,
In person is valuable.
yes. Cool.
Thank you, that was lit. Okay, well, as we said, there's an event where some of our leadership are training. So it makes sense that our events and training person is not here. Connie's not here today. However, we have Grace. However, she's not our marketing update today. She's our events and training update. So Grace, come on up.
Hi. Okay, so this is kind of our social media slide here. I think we only have 5 people signed up for this Rachel Adams Lee class, so please scan this QR code. It's only $25, which is a great deal to get the value out of this class. She's gonna be walking you through your social media and how you can generate leads from that, and it's super important from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of it, so it'll be super valuable. Also, speaking of Instagram, or Instantagram as Jason likes to call it, he will be teaching a class on April 3rd at 10 a.m., his usual tech-savvy realtor, and he'll be doing it on Zoom 2 weeks later.
17.
Yes, and I will be there as well, and we're gonna do kind of an entry-level Instagram course, kind of what you should have as a business page, how you can, boost your following on there.
That's gonna be a great mechanical tee up to be ready for Rachel's class.
Yeah, be awesome. So go to both. It'll be great.
Hey Grace, for the algorithm one, is that in person?
Yes. Yeah.
Which one?
Is she here or is it just a Zoom with her?
It's a Zoom.
Okay, that's what I
But
thought.
it'll be in here. Yeah.
And real quick, those of you who were here yesterday with Jen Toomer, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Jen Toomer, hey, what is today? That's what she spoke of is basically, let's be a little bit more pointed with having a game plan set up for social media rather than just exist in that space where all the realtors are trying to see who can get the most. Look at me. Pam does a great job of being very purposeful with what she does. She has been up on, not Grace, but maybe someday soon, but she has been up on stage with Gary multiple times with her success in this area, so please, owe it to yourself.
Arbor Day is coming up on April 25th. Just kind of planting that seed in your brain. Sorry.
We're getting down into her roots.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh my God.
So,
we turn the leaf on this conversation?
Okay, so this will be a client-facing event, so be sure to take advantage of this. There will be a marketing plan attached with this, so keep your eyes peeled for more information coming out on this. We're kind of working out the details, and then we will get more info out to you guys so you can get signed up.
We're really excited to be branching out into this.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Phil Jones.
You're raising your hand just to bark and all like that? What the heck?
They never end. Okay.
Exactly what to say.
Yes. So Phil Jones, the region and Olivia is they're putting this on, and it's kind of like the first big event that they're doing, and they put a lot of time and effort into this, and they really want to get more people signed up. So please scan this QR code. It's going to be a super valuable day with Phil Jones. It's on May 1st. I know Jamie's signed up, so do you want to shed a
I
little
went
light?
VIP, my own money. Yeah, so put more money where my mouth is. If you don't know who he is, I mean, he's very well known now, author, blogger, and anyway, he is now basically a part of Keller Williams, and this is an opportunity to hone your skills, make better with your time, get more opportunities when you're in front of your client for them to understand what you want them to understand, which is the biggest part, right? We're in the perspective business, and this is incredible. And that being said, we're also going to have a workshop, a mastermind.
Exactly what
here.
to say with Jamie or Brad Pitt on April 16th.
So sign up for the real deal. However, we're gonna gather and we're gonna do exactly what to say. There'll be some role play. His cards are pretty amazing. So he's got a card deck here that we go through, different scenarios, and they help us give opportunities about exactly what to say. It's really, you're only as good as the questions you ask both yourself and your clients. Colin M. Manson.
So Olivia and Taylor, I think it was, had an introductory call with Phil. She came home and said, holy crap, this guy is unreal, you are going.
So I guess you're going.
So, just, I mean, she gets to talk to a lot of people, and she was floored by this guy. And it's all about the questions you ask. So, talk about powerful for what we do. I'm just throwing it out there, for the cost, it's probably going to be multiple return on your investment.
What are the hours of that? I don't see the hours on
I think it's most of the day.
If he's
The VIP is all day from like 7 to 5 and.
That's what I was told I was going to.
Oh, he's the best and he's got the greatest accent
And in general is a 3-hour session.
in the morning.
there. Okay.
Yeah, he was on James Shaw, he is really good.
And does that say $4.99 for VIP?
Yes.
And the VIP
$199
includes coffee with him, you get a copy of the book, you get to have lunch, and then the afternoon session as well.
I guess only 60 people right in
Yeah.
that room.
Right.
We want 60 people, so also great recruiting opportunity if you want to bring people to this event as well. Okay, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Nice job, Greg. Way to tie it, Greg. All right, well, we are blessed to have some guests here today. We have Gabe and Joe from SPAAR, so whenever you're ready, let's go. Oh, St. Paul Board River, that's SPAAR. So Gabe is the CEO and Joe is Vice President of External Engagement and Professionalism, and Melissa has a great relationship with them, and Joe, I'm sure, will not want to come up here. He likes to hang out, am I right? Okay,
He's been in the front before.
well, you should be in the front, but I get it. I totally get it. So, let's welcome Gabe and Joe.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going today?
Good.
Thanks for having me. Jamie, Melissa, really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and Melissa's doing a phenomenal job on our board of directors and really represents all of you in the industry very well in that capacity. So it's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to take just a second here.
You gotta do one quick on each. But you can filibuster and tell them all kinds of fun stuff.
Well, okay, once you get me queued up, I am gonna use a slide deck here to kind of kick us off. I guess I'll just start with telling you just a little bit about myself. My name is Gabe Walsh. I have served as the Chief Executive Officer of the St. Paul Area Association of Realtors since July of last year. So in the grand scheme of things, relatively new, hasn't been a ton of time here at the organization. That being said, I don't know how anybody else feels, but when I look back at, the last many years in this career path, these last 7-8 months have been some of the most evolving times in the industry I think a lot of us have seen in a significant period of time. So there certainly has not been a dull moment since my arrival. Prior to this role, I spent a couple years as the CEO of the Lake Superior area realtors in Duluth, Minnesota. And prior to that, I served as general counsel for the Iowa Association of Realtors, which again, now sort of in a management role, but at the Iowa Association it was a very different role, much more like what Melissa was up here presenting about earlier. I was traveling the state, dealing a lot with brokers, dealing a lot with agents that were having issues with our statewide forms. How do we improve our forms? How do we improve our ethics enforcement process, right? So I was constantly advising from the legal perspective our members in those capacities as well. So just gives you a little bit of an idea of the background and sort of experiences that I bring to the table here at the organization. But that's enough about me. I'm here to talk about SPAAR. And how would you describe SPAAR? I think what we did is we went around the room as our staff and started having this conversation, like throw some words out that you really feel reflect who we are as an organization. You can see some of those appearing on the screen. Then we start kind of going to our board of directors, going to our executive committee, having these conversations, and we found out a lot of these same words to describe our organization kept coming up. Hopefully there's a word on here that you've seen throughout this little rolling of the slide here that relates to an experience that you've had with our organization at some point in time. And hopefully if you don't know anything about our organization or have never interacted with it before, hopefully that will maybe even be a different mindset after today. Because I think SPAAR is a good place that has that family feel and a good place where hopefully you will in your real estate careers find a home to be your strategic partners along the way. So SPAAR empowers and supports realtors in growing their business, creating impactful community partnerships, and advocating to protect and promote home ownership for all. So we basically do that in sort of 4 key ways. All of our vision for what we do as an organization is set by a strategic plan. Somebody like Melissa that serves on the board comes together every couple of years and we say, let's set a vision of what this organization should look like. And basically everything that we do is going to fall into one of these 4 buckets that you see on the screen. They include communications, professionalism, community engagement, and advocacy. As far as communications go, we're trying to keep you informed on what's happening in the industry, what trends are taking place. We're trying to give you very robust statistical information and snapshots about what's happening in the marketplace, not just so you can be educated yourselves, but being able to have those listing appointments and sit down with the client, have all this data, and really have it pre-packaged for you to be able to share and get that client and make yourself look just a little bit sharper. We hope is something that you find is a valuable tool to help propel your businesses forward. Professionalism. We know that as your companies, you're working all the time in this office, I'm sure, on making sure you're getting cutting edge educational opportunities. You were just talking about marketing education opportunities. There's great things you get right here at your company, and we know that there's lots of companies that do that. But we also want to make sure if we're providing those extra things as everybody's business is get busy and there's only so much you can do. So we provide classes like code of ethics training, fair housing training. In a given year, we literally have dozens of classes that we also offer for free that you can take in person at our organization. And I would say that's unique to associations. Community engagement, we are also not only just trying to focus internally on our members, but how do we form strategic partnerships with our communities, other businesses, nonprofits. When we're talking about making housing more affordable and accessible for all, there's a lot of really good people and organizations doing really good work on those matters. So how do we synergize with them? How do we form strategic alliances to come together and try to propel these goals forward for our members? So we're doing that all the time. And then finally, advocacy. This should have been first on this slideshow, not last, because if you ask me what is the central, yes.
Your slideshow is.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You guys gotta say something. Yes, this. If you would ask me what's like the central most important thing of a realtor association and a trade association, if I think that there's one thing that we absolutely can and should always do better than anybody else, whether it's the brokerage community, other nonprofits, whatever, like one thing we can do is be that central voice to come to the table and stand up and fight for the things you care about in your businesses on behalf, not just of your company or this company, but of our 7,500 realtor members in the community. And we're doing that in our organization. Understand that we're the local association. When you're a realtor, you're also part of the state association, which we work very collaboratively with. We work collaboratively with the Minnesota Realtors, and then the national. Keep in mind, the state's focusing on a lot of things happening in the legislature. We're focusing on what's happening in our 200 cities and municipalities in our 12 county service area. And as I think many people in this room very well understand, a lot of the policy that impacts housing affordability, accessibility, things that can get in the way of closing transactions and making it more difficult for you all to do your businesses, that absolutely happens in local units of government. So we are constantly trying to make sure that we're in those spaces fighting for your interests. When you become a member at SPAAR, you have access to information, education, opportunities, resources, and support to help you succeed in your real estate business. Just to show you a snapshot of what some of our members are saying about our organization.
Aside from the basics that SPAAR provides, the leadership program was fantastic. This year, we had an opportunity to participate at the housing day at the Capitol. I never really paid attention to it until this year. We had our lobbyists come in and explain their role, what they do, and also the items that we're trying to push of that. So that gave me a better understanding of, oh, okay, so we're not just buying and selling real estate here. What we represent is actually a bigger picture in the housing and in real estate field.
There are so many events that happen that you're involved in. Wine and Dine, Cheers for Charity, the Great River Greening, the last year when we were packaging meals. It's fun, it builds community, you have a great time, it's just doing things together as friends. The other thing is that the SPAAR staff is really dialed in. They really make this an easy place to volunteer at. I've volunteered at a lot of associations in the past. All been good experiences, but some of them, when you volunteer, you're really doing all the heavy lifting. Here at SPAAR, when you volunteer, you're doing good work, but you're not having to do all the work. I think taking a couple minutes a week to read the newsletter might be helpful.
That's how I ended up where I am right now. Is it allowed me to meet the people who I'm with today and the opportunities that are at my disposal. I highly encourage anyone who's looking to expand their knowledge in their business to really look into SPAAR and the benefits that it has to offer. We're not only representing them, but they're representing us, and they want us to be successful as much as they do.
If you're interested in getting more involved at SPAAR, simply go to their website at spaar.com. That's SPAAR.com.
So again, we're focusing as a trade association on being your partner, right? We literally exist as a business community to try to help you be better in your businesses and be your partners and provide tools and resources to make your lives easier and hopefully help you to make more money in that process as well. Again, already explained kind of the most of what's on the slide in terms of what those offerings look like. I think the last bullet point on this I haven't touched on yet is we try to provide that network of opportunities where you can come together, not just with your company, but with folks throughout all companies. I'm going out and really trying to do a lot of outreach like this. I just had a report run yesterday. I've got 977 offices in our service territory that are on the list of places that could be up for a visit. And again, the community is ginormous, and there's just such a great opportunity to come together at SPAAR and a lot of events we do to just learn from one another, grow from one another, and have that space. creating impactful community partnerships. One of the things that Joe does in his role with his team is part of his role in external engagement focuses a lot on this kind of strategic alliances stuff, and also focuses on creating opportunities for realtors to give back to the community, but also highlighting all the realtors that are already giving back to the community. I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but in the last year, couple years, there's been a lot of negativity in the national media, specifically as it relates to the realtor brand, things that are happening in the industry, litigation that's happening, and a lot of it is just totally missing the mark. So we're constantly trying to get out in front of that, trying to connect with the media, but not just to connect with them, about the normal transactional stuff, but try to connect with them and showcase all the good things you're doing in your communities to volunteer, to serve, right? To work at the soup kitchens, to be the Little League coaches, to volunteer on your local government housing commissions. Like, those are the kinds of things we want to showcase and propel, not just for specific companies, but for the entire realtor brand in general. And then advocating to promote and protect home ownership. As I said, I think this is one of the most critically important things that we as an association can do. And again, it's crazy when you think about it. We're literally dealing with 200 cities, over 200 cities that are in our area where our members are transacting real estate business. When you start to add up the number of people on those city councils, it's in the, it's over 1,000. And when you start to factor in all the staff people that are working on issues that affect real estate, it's a really ginormous thing. But again, our government affairs team is constantly trying to keep up with that and making sure we're staying in front of things that are happening in your areas. We're here for you. I think one thing you will notice if you look at just the pictures on this slide deck is that I think we're a pretty fun place to come and get involved with, to volunteer and to be a part of. I think one of the things that's super, seriously, and I mean this, is unique about SPAAR for as large of an association as we are, we really focusing on having sort of a, I almost call it a small town, but like a sort of a very family-oriented place where you're just gonna get that extra level of support and service when you call them. We take that so seriously, and we try to live up to that every single day. It's so absolutely important to us, and we want you to feel that way every time you come into our building, every time you email us about something that's happening. And to the extent that we're ever falling short on that, please let us know. That's critically important to us, because we live by that every single day. Our leadership team talking about this just a little bit.
I think we exist for our members, and I think that makes us really unique, that we are very much member-driven association. We work really hard for our members' rights to stay and small business owners, and also for our property rights for our homeowners.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And our slogan is better agents, better communities, and I think that's exactly what we strive to be and that we are.
Yeah, and one thing I would say that SPAAR always has your back, all the members, all the staff, they're always supportive. Great organization to be part of.
I think one of the big things that makes us unique is, outside of SPAAR, we may be each other's competition. We are competing for listings and buyers, but when you come to SPAAR, it's a sense of community. And you want to be a part of that, and you want to help each other. You don't even know, when you're in the building, what company people are working for. It's not really even discussed. We're just all realtors. When you come to SPAAR, because it is such a sense of community, we can lean on each other and bounce ideas off of each other and really truly see how other people are doing outside of our office.
Yes, I agree. I'd say it's one big family. I mean, we all get along. I mean, sometimes we butt heads, but in the end, we all get along and come to the common goal of, just home ownership and networking and finding the right fit for somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even from the staff, it's a sense of community. They're all so nice and they're so easy and great to work with, and they really truly want to see us succeed as realtors and in our community.
And then on there, so that was Jennifer Livingston, our president for this year. Danielle Bickham-Pelton was in the middle. She's our president-elect. And then Charlie Lefevre, he was sitting on the right side of when you're looking up that way. And again, those are all individuals that are volunteers. They are giving hundreds, probably more like thousands of hours of their time on top of trying to sell real estate to be part of our association, to work in partnership with our team, and to move this thing forward for all of you, the members. We literally only exist as an association for the purpose of serving our membership. Without you, there is no association, period. And so much of this work, like, yes, I get hired as the CEO of the organization, association executive, executive director, whatever you want to call me. But I get hired because they say, look, we're a volunteer-driven organization. We're setting all the parameters of the vision of where we want to go, and we're hiring you to take this vision that we have and bring it to life, to make sure we have staff in place, to hire staff, to make sure we keep moving this thing forward. So I literally can't do this job without the volunteers. And it's not a top-down approach. It's very much a working together in lockstep approach. And God, it's the most rewarding thing that I've ever been a part of. And it's why I keep sticking around this industry. It's truly remarkable. These are just some of the things to highlight sort of in the last calendar year that we've done at SPAAR. Maybe there's something on here that resonates with you, or something on here that you attended that you thought was really cool. Literally things on there like the first one, a winter social installation. That's an event we had at the St. Paul Hotel this year where we had around 150 members who came together to celebrate the new incoming leadership, celebrate sort of the good things that realtors have been doing in the community throughout the year, and just a good chance to get together, network, and build that community. Things from home ownership rallies to tax preparation strategies to national night out support to tech dump. Everybody know about tech dump? We usually have it around August, but if you have any old cell phones, laptops, computers, you don't just want to throw those away. You want to make sure they're professionally sort of go through that offboarding process before they're recycled. And we hire in professional companies that, just as a member benefit, will bring in dumpsters, and we'll recycle those things free of charge for all of our members. And that's something that once people hear about it, they're like, whoa, what a cost savings. Especially when you talk about $179 in your membership going towards SPAAR in a year, and the cost to recycle things, you can pretty quickly pay for your membership just with something like that. And just a few things that are up and coming. I will leave this on the slideshow while I continue to talk here for a few minutes. I did a broker office visit actually yesterday, and I had this hot off the press. I only had about 20 minutes to look at this. I had just a little bit more time. But everybody familiar in here when I say clear cooperation policy? We heard that in the media, heard that phrase at some point in time. It's an MLS policy that you all have to abide by, which says that if you're going to publicly market a property, you're required to put that property into the MLS within 1 business day. That has been a source of very vigorous and robust conversation and debate from different segments of the industry. There's all kinds of arguments on all sides of it here in the industry, I'm sure. I'm not here to be to push a position or another, but I am here to let you know that there was big news that was dropped yesterday that NAR is adding a new mandatory policy to MLSs that will go alongside the clear cooperation policy. And I'm just going to read this so I don't screw this up. But basically, it's going to be called the multiple listing options for sellers, which says that multiple listing options for sellers will exist in conjunction with clear cooperation and other MLS policies to provide sellers and their agents more options and choice when marketing a property, while also supporting fair housing by providing buyers and their agents with equal access to important property information. With this new policy, a consumer will have the option to market their home as a delayed marketing exempt listing. This means a seller can instruct their listing agent to delay the marketing of their listing by other agents outside the listing firm through IDX or syndication for a period of time. During this delayed marketing period, the home seller and the listing agent can market the listing in a manner consistent with the seller's needs and interests. At the same time, the delayed marketing exempt listing will still be available to other MLS participants through the MLS platform so they can inform their consumers about the property. Each MLS will have the discretion to determine a delayed marketing period most suitable to their local marketplace, and listing agents representing sellers who choose to delay their public marketing of the listing must secure from their seller a signed disclosure documenting the seller's informed consent to waive the benefits of immediate public marketing through IDX and syndication. Seller disclosure is required for both delayed marketing exempt listings and office exclusive exempt listings. So that was hot off the press yesterday. Was that new? I mean, had you guys seen that a little bit yesterday?
How is that different from coming soon?
I think actually, if I can just jump
Yeah.
in, our local MLS has not yet decided
Yeah.
how they're going to handle it. So
Yeah.
I don't think we can answer those questions specifically
We
now,
can't.
unless you have some insight info.
No, and that's exactly perfect. Part of me is like, God, do we even like open this up? And I think the answer is yes. This was news yesterday. Our MLS will absolutely be meeting about this to determine how they're going to implement this in the local marketplace. I think the policy says there's like 4 or 5 months of time now to implement this. So when you walk out of the room today, nothing's changed at all. But I just want you aware that these conversations are happening. I anticipate you'll be getting communications from North Star MLS about updates in the coming future. And we certainly as an association will help to push those communications out as well. And I feel good too, like Tim Dane is our CEO of the North Star MLS, is very involved in a lot of national groups in the MLS world that are having these sorts of conversations. So I do feel very good that there's good information being brought back to our local marketplaces here to help inform kind of those next steps in moving forward.
I was just gonna add, one thing that I foresee is you might know you can withhold your property and keep it withheld or put it into the coming soon status or making it active. If you happen to publicly market your property while it's in the withheld status, it's a $1,000 fine if you're reported. So I think what this is a withheld, not yet a coming soon, and your ability to advertise that publicly on Facebook and also your sellers being able to do that, but we don't have any parameters yet.
Without being fined.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of companies were really pushing for it nationally because, you know, the Edina Realties and some of the gigantic brokerages that have multiple locations really like to be able to promote. These are kind of our pocket listings, and I think it's a way to allow us to promote pocket listings, but in an interim. Would you say that's generally?
Yeah, I think so. And again, I mean, there's so much. I mean, you could read literally all day long on all the conversations that are happening about this. I mean, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
But I think we'll continue to learn more over the coming weeks, months, and communicate it when we know more. Two more couple plugs, 'cause I want to be cognizant of your time and give a chance for a little feedback. Just going back to advocacy for a quick minute. One of the things that we do as an organization, usually around fall, late summer, like September-ish, is we do local candidate endorsements. All of a sudden, everybody in the room is like, oh God, politics, we don't want to talk about that. But we absolutely get involved in politics at the association. It's incumbent that we get involved in politics. Not politics in the sense of we support Democrats, Republicans, or we're very partisan on issues. The only issue we care about is that you make it easier for our members to do their businesses, and you are on the same page with us in limiting barriers that we're going to put in their way to close real estate transactions. As long as you can get on board with those things, right? Of course, we're going to do a robust process to make sure we're looking at everything about the candidate, right? Like we're going to make sure that we're not supporting people that have other red flags that are, appearing that would just be people that we wouldn't support regardless. But we don't do a Republican-Democrat analysis, and generally at the local level, it's not Republican-Democrat analysis, so it makes our jobs even easier. But my point is, we need volunteers who are interested in this to volunteer to come be part of those interview processes, whether it's for a few hours or if you want to sit through the whole thing over the period of 5 days. We'll have dozens of candidates that will come in. They will answer our questions through an interview process. Then we will make selections on whether to fund them and or whether to endorse them. And then we'll publish those lists. That allows us to really form very strong strategic partners with Realtor champions in elected capacities. And that helps us to be able to better support you and your issues. Education, I'm gonna leave these at the door, but if you're looking, in addition to all the great things your company offers and what you get through the state and other places, we also have a lot of local education offerings. We just recently, like within the last year probably, started building out education on demand. Has anybody taken an on-demand learning class through SPAAR? What have you thought?
It's great.
So far, so good? Yeah, it's a really cool system. We're really, like, right now, it's not super heavy on content because we're budgeting in a way, like, it's really expensive to build the content. So we're trying to sort of build it in a way that kind of matches we're building it up over time. We can't just put 90 credits out there in a year, but you're seeing more and more credits be added. And again, that gives you an opportunity to take classes on your time. And we're offering a $100 education pass right now, where you basically pay $100, you get to pick any 10 classes that are on our platform, and you get a year to take them. So I will leave those. I got 20 flyers right here. I'm just gonna open it up. Any questions on anything? Specifically, any feedback? What are we doing well at the organization? Where can we improve?
I'll just comment that I have, over the years, I've appreciated the interviews of the candidates and the ability to know or try to know who's running for, like city council and stuff like that. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you.
I would just add, we have a couple SPAAR heroes right here in this room, so thank you for recognizing them. Thank you for your work.
Other things about the association? What opportunities are we missing? What things could we provide that you would really like to see that you're not seeing provided in the marketplace right now?
This isn't a provision, I have a question.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're the right person. Why do we keep getting spam from, oh, do you want to know rates for healthcare for realtors? No, I don't. How did you get my information? Who's in charge of that?
Yeah, so I would definitely, I don't have a good answer for you off the cuff. I would be, if I can catch you afterwards and get more information about that, I'd love to. It's not from us. There are a lot of folks trying to get in the marketplaces of trying to provide health plans to independent contractors in the real estate community. So it could be related to that, likely is related to that. But we'll talk about that.
Thank you for all you do.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity, and seriously, if there's anything we can do to improve the experience we offer, to better serve you, just let us know. We're absolutely here to be your partners every step of the way, and just thank you for the opportunity.
Joe, question.
Yeah.
SPAAR used to bring continuing ed on the road. Melissa,
Took advantage of that.
she was a loyal partner with that, and I always enjoyed teaching right here in this room. Would you still see value in continuing ed coming to your office?
For free. Yes. I'm gonna say yes.
Joe, we got a half hour right now.
Are you still DOC approved?
If I can, I have one more question too. Is anybody using any solutions right now in their individual businesses for like realtor safety or like any applications for safety?
Forewarn.
Yep.
How?
Is that you're using it, or people are using it?
No, I have it, but it's
Okay.
through another state's MLS because I'm licensed in other places.
Sure.
How do we get that here where it's part of what we're already paying?
Well, that's why I'm asking the question. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the answer is yes, there are associations or MLSs that have in some way, shape, or form decided to offer that either as a member benefit or some type of arrangement where they're negotiating a good rate and billing it to the users. There's different ways to do that. We don't, nor does any association or MLS here in the metro that I'm aware of have that. I'll just be totally honest, it's something that since I've been here, it's a conversation we've started having more and more. So the question I'd throw back, like, if you had an opportunity to use a safety app either as a member benefit or at a heavily discounted rate, would it be something that you would download and use? Would you see that as filling a gap in like your membership that would add value?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Do we still offer Showing Beacon? Does anyone utilize that?
If it is, it's through the MLS, it's
I
not
think it
through
is.
us, but
Yeah, I think it is.
it's a good question. And Forewarn is one company that does this. There are some others that have come onto the marketplace, some more recently that have some really exciting products as well. You know, they do anything from reverse phone number lookups to make sure whoever is calling you saying they want to go to a showing is actually who they say they are. And they even do other cool things now, like they'll build in like geographic markers. Like you could literally set, I'm going to these 3 showings at these addresses at these times today. And some of these softwares now are like identifying if your location goes outside of that circle of what's around that house, you'll get a call and basically have to put a code in like, hey, we noticed you're out of this range. You've got 60 seconds to type in this code, you know, and just yes, no, is everything okay? And if not, they can dispatch literally somebody to that residence almost immediately. Some of this technology detects, like if your phone's in your pocket, it detects odd motions, like thinking that you're maybe like in a conflict or an altercation. Same thing, code, 60 seconds, are you okay? If not, we'll send somebody that way. Some of these tools are also building in like like as an addition to safety. We've seen one company, for example, that's built in mileage and expense like reporting.
Yes.
Would that be something that people would use?
Yes.
Okay.
Every time my accountant asks me, I'm like,
Just being very candid, this is it's a large conversation and make absolutely no commitments today, but it's something we are starting to kind of try to temperature check, because we don't get like tons of emails or questions about it, but it's like one of those things that I would say at least once a month, somebody asks about like what safety apps are available, what can we do? So it's enough that it's noticeable, and it's worth the conversation. Cool. All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Will you be around for any questions?
Yeah, I'll stick around. Yeah.
Great. And did I see you guys have a mascot?
Oh,
Is it Spark?
Sparky.
Okay, so next time you come, our owner loves dogs. We would love to invite Sparky. Sparky.
Hey, Joe.
And then one thing before we move on, folks, one thing I neglected to mention was about the Phil Jones situation. For what's gonna be here for the VIP package for $500, people pay $5,000 to go to New York to do that same exact thing. So that's $500 for a value of $5,000 and a flight for $500. Highly recommend it. So I have word that Jimmy brought his Johns, is that correct?
That is correct.
So let's go enjoy some lunch and be ready for Connectors and Solo Agent Alliance workshop. Thanks, everybody. I was gonna mention it.
Did you put an offer in on that house? Mary. I mean,
Mary.
I love this. Good, how are you? That's me, I was like, you doing all this.
grab him for that.
How are you